I understand, Mr. Chair, that the statement of Attorney Roque, he was never consulted by Lucky South 99, but he has been repeating a while ago that Cassandra Leong is the representative of Lucky South 99. Is it not that the consultations made by Representative Ong with Attorney Roque, the consultations as well that was made by Lucky South 99 with Attorney Roque, Mr. Chair? So I wish to ask once more for the record. With all due respect, kayo po ba ay abogado ng Lucky South 99?
Hindi po, wala po akong attorney-client relationship sa kahit sino na shareholder or officer ng Lucky Star.
From that
Lucky South.
answer of Attorney Roque, Mr. Chair, I wish to share to the committee the case of Eusebio Sison versus Attorney Lourdes Dumlao. This is AC number 11959, April 28, 2021. If I may quote, a lawyer-client relationship is established when lawyers consistently manifest to a person consulting them that they would provide legal representation or assistance, regardless of the close ties between the parties or the lack of written contract or the non-payment of legal fees. It is very clear, Mr. Chair, that from the definition of a lawyer-client relationship, kahit walang kontrata, kahit walang payment of legal fees, the moment the client starts seeking advice and the lawyer starts giving advice, a client-attorney relationship is created. Can we be enlightened on this, Mr. Chair, from Attorney Roque?
Attorney Roque, you are now recognized.
Mr. Chair, tama po yun. Ang problema, wala pong kahit anong konsulta na nangyari sa panig ko at sa kahit kanino sa panig po ng Lucky South. Kaya miski wala pong bayad, wala pong kontrata, wala rin po kaming komunikasyon. Dahil ang komunikasyon ko po, lahat po yan ay kay Cassie Ong lamang.
I understand, Mr. Chair, that the statement of Attorney Roque, he was never consulted by Lucky South 99, but he has been repeating a while ago that Cassandra Leong is the representative of Lucky South 99. Is it not that the consultations made by Representative Ong with Attorney Roque, the consultations as well that was made by Lucky South 99 with Attorney Roque, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, gaya na aking sinabi po kanina, ang aking attorney-client relationship ay kay Cassandra Ong at kay Whirlwind dahil sila po ay umakto bilang ahente ng Lucky South pero hindi ko po naging kliyente ang Lucky South. Para po siguro malinaw, it is an instance where both Whirlwind and Lucky South will benefit kung magtutuloy ang negosyo ng Lucky South. Kasi kung wala naman po Lucky South, useless yung pinatayong premises ng Whirlwind. At kung wala naman ang Whirlwind, wala ring uupahan ang Lucky South. Pero pagdating po sa attorney-client relationship, dapat meron man lang komunikasyon sa panig ng abogado at ng kliyente whether or not there is a written agreement, whether or not there is bayad. Pero wala po talagang ganon dahil limited lang ako kay Cassie Ong.
Mr. Chair, I just wish to remind our resource speaker that I think there were 3 members of the committee who have been delving on this question, and repeatedly, Attorney Roque stated that he is lawyering for Cassandra Ong. Cassandra Ong is the representative of Lucky South 99. And it is really hard to conceive how he can separate himself from Lucky South 99 if his client is representing no less than Lucky South 99. Lucky South is not a natural person. it is a juridical person. The only way to talk with a lawyer is through a representative, and that is Cassandra Ong. If I may add, Mr. Chair, under Section 3 of Canon 3, lawyer-client relationship. A lawyer-client relationship, yes, Attorney Roque is correct, the highest fiduciary character. As a trust relation, it is essential that the engagement is founded on the confidence reposed by the client on the lawyer. Therefore, a lawyer-client relationship shall arise when the client consciously, voluntarily, and in good faith vests a lawyer with a client's confidence for the purpose of rendering legal services such as providing legal advice, representation, and the lawyer, whether expressly or impliedly, agrees to render such services. There are two elements, Mr. Chair. The first element is that the client solicits advice and service of the lawyer. And the second element, the lawyer renders service and advice to the client. I think in the given situation, both were fulfilled. There is Cassandra Ong, or there was Cassandra Ong, representing the juridical person Lucky South 99, who solicited the advice, the service of Attorney Harry Roque. And Attorney Harry Roque physically accompanied Cassandra Ong to PAGCOR, a manifestation of his act of rendering service and advice to his client. I humbly submit, Mr. Chair, that I think there are sufficient legal provisions to establish that a lawyer-client relationship was indeed created with Lucky South 99. Mr. Chair.
You want to reply on that, former Secretary Roque?
Mr. Chair, I can only say that as a lawyer, I have a different opinion. I acknowledge that there is lawyer-client relationship between me and Cassie Ong as representative of Whirlwind, who in turn acted as agent for Lucky South. But that does not mean that Lucky South gave me their trust and confidence to represent me, and I will repeat it. Kung kukunin po nila ako to quash the raid on their property, I will readily accept it. Pero yun nga po, hindi nila gagawin yun. Dahil sa tingin nila, ang kritiko ng gobyerno, hindi magpapanalo ng kaso sa kanila, magpapalala pa. Yun lang po ang sitwasyon talaga.
Mr. Chair, earlier, Attorney Roque likewise stated that Whirlwind is the agent of Lucky South. Does our resource speaker confirm this, Mr. Chair?
Yes po.
And can agency be implied?
Well, it can be implied, but an agency, once delegated, cannot be further delegated. Yun po ang rule.
Can it be done verbally?
Well, agency is written or verbal. Pero ang sinasabi ko nga po, yung delegated authority to Cassie Ong cannot be delegated any further. Ang pwede lang po mag-delegate talaga ay yung principal.
And what, therefore, is your concrete basis why you reach the conclusion that Whirlwind is an agent of Lucky South 99?
Well, una-una, Mr. Chair, because that is how Whirlwind explained it to me. And under the circumstance na sila nagpapaupa ng property nila at may interest sila na magpatuloy ang negosyo ng Lucky South, nakita ko naman po kung ano interest din ng Whirlwind. Ang interest ng Whirlwind ay magpatuloy po ang negosyo nung nag-uupa sa kanila, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I want to go to the basic. Agency is a contract where there are two parties involved, the agent and the principal. It is hard to conceive, Mr. Chair, that Attorney Roque will be relying on the representation only of Whirlwind without an active participation of the other party who is supposed to be the principal, the Lucky South 99. And even assuming that indeed Whirlwind is an agent of Lucky South, I hope we are reminded as well by the principle that the act of the agent is the act of the principal, and the liability of the agent is the liability of the principal. Similar to attorney-client relationship, there is a fiduciary relationship that is existing between the principal and the client. So I wish to conclude, Mr. Chair, that Attorney Roque's representation did not cover only the Whirlwind, but extends even to Lucky South. Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much. Tama-tama yung time mo. Dahil I was about to... hindi pa ba? I was about to remind you that your time is up. So there is an extension.
Yes,
Another
Mr. Chair.
extension for you, Congresswoman Luistro. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Mr. Chair. I just wish to confirm from the committee, Mr. Chair, if the Bureau of Immigration, the DOLE, and the BIR complied already with our request for submission of records of foreign nationals who were issued working visa, employment certificate, and registration as income taxpayer. That is for BIR. May we hear from them, Mr. Chair?
Yes, BIR complied with all the documents. We have the documents here. I think we have sent it through the Viber group that we created. And at the same time, the immigration also, they have submitted the documents. Unfortunately, ang DOLE, hindi po sila nag-submit. And we did not invite the DOLE, particularly because we have mentioned and manifested in the last hearing that we are focusing on the criminal activities pertaining to the body of the motu proprio. But we will be asking also, but we ask the DOLE to submit all the documents. So, Comsec, can you again remind the DOLE to submit all the documents that being asked by Congresswoman Luistro?
And may I request, Mr. Chair, also our committee to check on the consistency of the records of these three agencies upon submission?
Yes, check nyo ba yung accuracy? Okay, we will be asking the Comsec to check the accuracy of all these documents. And as a matter of fact, all the documents are here at the back of of the chair. So if you wanted to see the documents and check it for yourself, you can do so. Go ahead, Congresswoman Luistro.
There's a letter here coming from Mayor Capil. May sinasabi po siya ditong sinisiraan daw siya ni Pyra Lucas, Toto Kausing. Allegedly, it is being alleged na mayroon siyang pag-aaring 5 milyon. Nakakatanggap siya ng 5 milyong piso buwan-buwan. Mayroon siyang mga luxurious cars and mansions, which he is denying through this letter. I became curious, Mr. Chair, and may I ask PAOK, kayo po ba ang tamang agency para mag-initiate ng lifestyle check to check on the veracity of the allegations contained on the letter of Mayor Capil?
Hindi po, ma'am. May DILG po na para tumingin po sa kaso niya.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
May I know
Congresswoman Luistro.
if we have information whether the DILG has initiated already a lifestyle check on Mayor Capil in the face of the allegations contained in his own letter?
Well, in the last hearing, we have asked Mayor Capil if he's willing to undergo a lifestyle check. And he said yes. And we tasked the proper agencies, including DILG and AMLAC, to start the process of that lifestyle check. So maybe we can ask, wala tayong DILG. I think, andyan si ASEC. ASEC, Racho pala. Racho, can you comment on
Good
the...
afternoon, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to the
Yes,
members of the
can you
committee.
comment on the query of Congresswoman
Sir,
Luistro?
may I refer you to the head of the task force na binuo po ng DILG, si Atty. Laday po.
I will wait. So you have created a task force?
Yes, sir. To look on this matter, sir. Nasa kanya po yung details. She's
Sige.
here now, sir.
What's the name of the person?
Attorney Alday po.
Attorney?
Alday po.
Okay.
Alday.
Ma'am, can
Nandito
you
po
kindly
siya.
sit here? Oh, yan. Diyan na lang. Palit na lang kayo. Babae pala. Lalaki pala. Please state your name and your position, please.
Magandang hapon po, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members of the Committee, and our resource speakers here today. I am Attorney Alday from the Department of the Interior and Local Government. I am the head of the task force for Porac Tarlac, Porac Pampanga, Your Honor. I also represented the investigation for the Bamban Tarlac for Mayor Alice Guo, Your Honor.
There's a query by Congresswoman Luistro if you have started and initiated the lifestyle check of Mayor Capil because and also Mayor kay Alice Go naman established na po yung 29 accounts niya and the 29 billion transactions, no, bank transactions that we have seen, no. As a matter of fact, galing yun sa Court of Appeals sa na naipile na po ng AMLAC. So with regard to that query kay Mayor Capil, have you started it?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, as for the lifestyle check, Your Honor, no, ang finocus lang po ng DILG sa aming investigasyon, Your Honor, is if ever ang munisipyo po ng Porac Tarlac ay nakapag-release ng mga permits na may kulang. Kung kunyari po, kung sila po ay nag-release ng business permit and may mga pagkukulang po sa dokumento na isubmit ang mga POGO na nasa kanilang lugar, doon po magkakaroon po sila ng mga administrative liabilities. Ang aming investigasyon po ay nag-focus lang po sa administrative liabilities, hindi po sa lifestyle check, Your Honor.
So hindi kayo nag-initiate ng lifestyle check kay Mayor Capil,
Your Honor,
wherein in the last hearing he manifested that is willing to sign any waiver for the opening of his accounts and his properties, where it was not considered by the task force that you created, that he manifested here in this hearing that he was willing to open all of his accounts.
As Your Honor,
kasi baka mamaya may makita kayo doon leading to something. Hindi ba ginawa yun?
Your Honor, we will try to consider it. Ipaparating ko po ito sa mga pinuno po ng aming departamento. Ngunit sa kasalukuyan po, ang pinokus lang po ng aming task force ay ang magiging mga posibleng administrative liability ng ating butihing mayor mula sa Porac Pampanga kung meron po man, Your Honor.
Sige, kasi nga siya na nagsalita mismo that is willing to open all his bank accounts and his property. So try to maximize the willingness of the person to go to undergone so many investigations. So isama niyo po 'yon, please.
Sige po, Your Honor. We will consider it po.
Luistro, now you have
Mr.
the
Chair,
floor again.
for us to have a foundation of the information on this allegation, may I respectfully move, Mr. Chair, that we invite Pyra Lucas and Toto Kausing to give us initial information, Mr. Chair, about the allegations which were mentioned by no less than Mayor Capil in his own letter.
So there's a motion to invite sino?
Pyra Lucas and Toto Kausing.
Pyra is a woman?
Yes,
Pyra Luca.
I suppose so, Mr. Chair.
Pyra Luca.
Lucas.
So, and also
Toto Kausing.
Mr. Toto Kausing.
The names are mentioned in the letter of Mayor Capil, Mr. Chair.
So there's a motion to invite those two personalities. Is there a second motion? There's a second motion. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. Go ahead.
Last question, Mr. Chair, is for PESA and PAGCOR. Before the pronouncement of the President about the total ban of all POGO operations in the Philippines, may I ask, what really is the policy? Who is or which agency has the issuing authority to POGO licensees? PESA first.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, and to the honorable members of this committee. I am Attorney Jenny Romero, the head of the legal department of PESA. And in behalf of our Director General, Tereso Panga, we wish to really thank the committee for inviting us because this will be the forum, one of the fora probably, where we could clarify and correct the pervading information that PESA registers Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs an information which appears to be believed, shared, and even common to the public, other government agencies, and various offices. Well, with due respect to our beloved USEC for PAOK, USEC Gilbert Cruz, the most recent of which, sir, is during the interview of PAOK spokesperson, Dr. Wilson Casio, where he mentioned that PEZA allowed these POGOs and PEZA provided the licenses to these POGO operators. In this representation, we wish to clarify that those information or this statement even is erroneous, Your Honors. With the kind indulgence of the Honorable Chairpersons, and the Honorable members of this committee, please allow us to provide accurate information regarding PEZA in relation to POGOs. PEZA's mandate under its charter, Republic Act 7916.
Mr. Chair, can we direct our resource speaker to just answer the question?
Yeah.
Whether
Okay.
PEZA has authority to issue license to POGOs.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. PEZA is not mandated. It has no authority at all under its charter, 7916, RA 7916, to issue licenses to POGOs. In fact, it has been the long-standing policy of PEZA not to register online gaming, gambling, and although we have IT companies, these IT companies registered with PEZA are prohibited from engaging in online gaming, gambling, or any ancillary gaming activities. In fact, the registration agreement with PEZA prohibits them from doing so, Your Honors. So there
Mr. Chair,
is
may
no-
I know if the resource speaker is aware of RA 11590, Section 22?
Please reply.
Um,
Are you aware?
This
I
is
am-
the definition of offshore gaming licensee.
I am not aware of the specific provision, Madam Chair, but if it's okay that it could be read to me, then I would be very
Mr. Chair,
happy,
I
Your
wish
Honor.
to read the definition of offshore gaming licensee as provided in RA 11590, Section 22. It refers to the offshore gaming operator, whether organized abroad or in the Philippines, duly licensed and authorized through a gaming license by the Philippine Amusement Gaming Corporation or any special economic zone authority or tourism zone authority or free port authority to conduct offshore gaming operations, including the acceptance of bets from offshore customers as provided for in their respective charters. In other words, Mr. Chair, it is recognized in this provision that apart from PAGCOR, there are three other establishments which were given the authority to issue license. One is a Special Economic Zone Authority, second is Tourism Zone Authority, and third is Freeport Authority. Mr. Chair, can we be enlightened by PEZA?
Okay. Madam Chair, the PEZA has its own PEZA charter that is under RA 7916 as amended. And in the provisions of the charter, we don't have any mandate or authority to issue licensing or even authority for these gaming operators, Your Honor.
So
In
there's
fact,
no provision in your charter.
none, Your Honor. In fact, as I said,
Do you have a copy of your charter right now? Can you kindly give it to us? Kasi, well, it is in conflict with the...
I have a copy of our charter here, Your Honor.
kindly give it to us right now.
Yes, sir.
Because what the good Congresswoman is mentioning, it was mentioned on the provision of the different economic zones, including yours. Pero sa inyo, wala naman, no?
Wala naman, Your Honor. In fact, as I said, it has been a long-standing policy of PEZA not to register gaming operations because we recognize the authority of the PAGCOR to do that.
Okay. Congresswoman Luistro, here, you try to check the charter of the PEZA. Yes.
May we confirm from PEZA if they have the power to regulate this Special Economic Zone Authority, Tourism Zone Authority, and Freeport Authority?
Please
Does
reply.
PEZA have
Yes,
the power
sir.
to regulate?
Please reply.
Mr.
PEZA.
Chair, yes, there is this misconception that all economic zones are under the supervision of PEZA. It is not true. PEZA is a separate and an independent authority which is separate from the other investment promotion agencies. We call them IPAs. These are the likes of BCDA, SBMA, AFAB, APECO, CESA, what else? They
CESA.
have their own. They have their own charters. They are created under a separate law, and they are distinct from PEZA, and they are outside the supervision of PEZA, Your Honor.
And
So-
Mr. Chair, I understand that they have no power to regulate, as mentioned, and it appears that this economic zone authority have autonomy once they are given their own charter. But can you please explain, PEZA? There is a provision here, notwithstanding any law to the contrary, no offshore gaming license shall hereinafter be issued by the Aurora Pacific Economic Zone and Freeport Authority. Why all of a sudden this was singled out?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, but I did not get the drift of the question. But as I said a while ago, PEZA is a different authority from the other investment promotion agencies. One of them is Cavite Economic Zone, APECO or Aurora, SBMA, BCDA. They are different from us, Your Honor.
I understand,
They have
Mr.
their
Chair,
own-
but I wish to invite the attention of our resource speaker to RA 11590, Section 22. This is the definition of offshore gaming licensee. Meron pong portion dito, after that definition, notwithstanding any law to the contrary, no offshore gaming license shall hereinafter be issued by Aurora Pacific Economic Zone and Freeport Authority.
That will be your last question, Congresswoman Luistra.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Curious lang po ako. While we recognize the authority of the other economic zones authority, bakit pagdating po dito sa Aurora Pacific Economic Zone, biglang na-single out siya at bawal siyang mag-issue ng license?
Your Honor, I don't think that that could be answered by PEZA because that is not a law being administered by PEZA. As I said, APECO is a different authority. It has its own charter, Your Honor. And they are not under our supervision or authority.
Do we have any resource speaker who can enlighten us on this? Mr. Chair, nagtataka lang po ako kung bakit dito mismo sa substantive law, biglang na-single out itong isang economic zone authority, that they're being prohibited from issuing an offshore gaming license.
That's it? Okay, so the next interpellator will be Chairman Acop.
Thank you.
Sir, you are recognized.
May katanungan pa na hindi nasasagot yung aking katabi, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
So,
I am asking if there's any resource speaker who can enlighten us on
I'm
this.
sorry, I was not able to hear that because Congressman Kit Flores is trying to whisper a lot of things in my ear. Okay, so who want to answer the query of Congresswoman Luistro?
Maybe the PAGCOR is aware?
Mr. Chair, I think PAGCOR could be able to answer that.
PAGCOR. And I would like to remind the members that we have invited as well our former PAGCOR, Andrea Domingo, Mr. Dennis Cunanan, PSA, and LRA. Yun na lang mga hindi natin natatanong. Anyway,
Mr.
so...
Chair, since no question has been propounded already to Commissioner Domingo, perhaps let us hear from her. Maybe she can enlighten us on this kung bakit na-single out yung Aurora.
Ano ba yan? Issuance ba yan ng PAGCOR?
Yes.
As we can
Issuance of offshore gaming license.
Issuance of...
Offshore gaming license, POGO license.
O, di sa PAGCOR yan. And that was year what?
I suppose that this is during the time of the previous administration, Mr. Chair.
Oh, so, saktong-sakto si former PAGCOR Chairman Andrea Domingo. Ma'am, you are now recognized. Thank you so much.
Chairman, pwede ko pong itanong kung kasama po ba ito nung sinasabi niyong Republic Act?
Can you please help the former chairman to put the mic much
11590.
closer, please?
Mr. Chair, it's RA 11590.
Kung pong batas yan ay hindi po alam ng PAGCOR, siguro po mas mabuti para masagot natin yung katanungan ng ating Congresswoman, tumingin po dun sa minutes ng meeting ng mga deliberations para po malaman kung bakit yung nag-enact ng law ay hindi isinama ang APECO dun sa pwedeng mag-issue ng licenses. Hindi ko po kasi alam yan at ang PAGCOR po talaga pong nire-recognize yung power authority of the Freeports at saka mga ecozones na nandun sa kanilang charter na pwede silang mag-issue pero nga ho dinefine ng Executive Order 13 na dun lang sa jurisdictional area nila po.
Maybe the good agency that can answer on this query of Congresswoman Luistro is the BIR. Kasi parang taxation to di ba? Right? Correct. Congressman Acop, you want to say something? Because, amendment ng Yes, National Internal Revenue Code of 1997.
Mr. Chair, for the information of the committee, this is the act taxing POGOs. RA 11590.
So the best personalities who can answer this
is PAGCOR.
Hindi, no.
BIR.
The one who drafted and crafted the law. And that is the tayo to. House of Representatives.